From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, December the 2nd, 2020. Israel's Knesset passed the first reading of a bill to dissolve, which could lead to yet another round of elections in the country. Israel's Defense Minister Benny Gantz and his Blue and White Party said yesterday that they would vote in favor of the bill, which they did, and it passed 61-54, with Gantz citing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's failure to pass the state budget, which is due on December the 23rd. The measure still has to go through committee and need to pass 3 more readings in the Knesset before potentially new elections could be called. Netanyahu met today with visiting Bahraini Minister of Industry, Commerce and Tourism, Zayed Ben Rashid Al Zayani, who arrived in Israel yesterday leading a business delegation of some 40 people, the second ministerial delegation to arrive in the Jewish state since that of Foreign Minister Abdul Latif Ben Rashid Al Zayani 2 weeks ago. In Jerusalem today, the Prime Minister spoke of the excitement and optimism for the newfound cooperation with the kingdom.
These are wondrous days. This is the day when we realize peace because of the courageous decision made by King Hamad, because of the extraordinary energy and initiative of Bahrainis and Israelis who are eager to embrace one another, to get to know one another, to do business with one another in all areas, in tourism and commerce and industry. I know we've signed some agreements, we have more to go, and more importantly, I think we understand that this is a real peace, a peace between our peoples, a peace that will open economic benefits that were unimaginable just a few months ago, but now are coming to be. And I think this will broaden the circle of peace, not only for our own two peoples, but for all countries in the Middle East and perhaps beyond.
Al-Zayani spoke of the goodwill he's experienced since landing in Israel and called the steps being built by Bahrain and Israel everlasting steps for future generations.
The peace has been signed, the diplomatic foundation has been laid. It's upon us now as ministers of trade and commerce and industry and tourism to move forward, to facilitate that, to forge the peace by having direct and constant integration between the business communities, which we believe will filter down even to the common citizen in Bahrain and Israel.
And a follow-up for you. We had told you Monday about the first commercial flight scheduled for yesterday from Tel Aviv to Dubai and the last-minute official permission from Saudi Arabia that the airliner could in fact fly over its airspace. This after reported U.S. diplomatic intervention. Well, the Israel flight landed in the United Arab Emirates safely yesterday, passing over Saudi airspace, which shortened the flight significantly. Just over 3 hours in total, which is less than half the time it would have taken if the plane had to fly around Saudi Arabia. The Times of Israel shared video from the cockpit of the Israel flight and said the plane's captain, Hagi Knaan, spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the phone, calling it a truly festive day, saying it's a great privilege to reach this moment. Well, outrage from Jewish organizations over a retweet this week from Democratic Representative from Michigan, Rashida Tlaib. The JTA reported that Tlaib, a Palestinian American, retweeted a tweet from another person's account of a poster marking the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people on November the 29th. The tweet also included the phrase, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free," which basically means the end of Israel. CEO of the American Jewish Committee, David Harris, wrote, "A member of Congress, Rashida Tlaib, has endorsed Israel's end. Let that sink in." She's saying Israel, a country with 9+ million people, world's only Jewish majority nation, UN member since 1949, key U.S. ally and thriving democracy, should disappear. Beyond appalling. B'nai B'rith International wrote, how outrageous for a sitting congresswoman to tweet, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, a well-known call for elimination of the Jewish state. With her since deleted tweet, they wrote, Tlaib is well aware of the message behind this call for Israel's demise. Yes, Tlaib did remove the tweet from her Twitter account, replacing it with her own tweet, including the original poster, but replacing the phrase with a comment about thinking of her family. Israel's first Sa'ar 6 warship arrived in the port of Haifa today after making its way from Germany. As we reported to you, the ship named Magen is highly advanced, designed to detect incoming missiles and shoot them down with state-of-the-art defense systems, as well as with cyber and electronic warfare systems on board. A welcoming ceremony this evening included remarks from Israel's President Reuven Rivlin, who thanked German Chancellor Angela Merkel and President Frank-Walter Steinmeier for their cooperation in the acquisition, many years in the making. Addressing the IDF and Israel's Navy, Rivlin said, at this time when Israeli society is in crisis, you are an anchor of stability, patriotism, of uncompromising commitment to Israel's national security. You are our pride, true Israeli pride. The INS Magen is the first of 4 such ships that will arrive in Israel by the end of 2021. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, December the 2nd at 7 o'clock, Ambassador Arthur Cole discusses the significant benefits of normalizing ties between the UAE and Israel. At 8, Robert Siegel explores the future of U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East in a Biden administration with Thomas Friedman, Dennis Ross, and Gaithal Omari. At 9, Mark Golub speaks with psychiatrist and Jewish activist Naomi Vilko, who memorializes her mother, a Holocaust survivor, and expresses her concerns about Jewish attitudes towards Israel and the U.S. government. At 10, Holocaust scholar Raphael Madoff suggests why FDR failed to save European Jewry in World War II. And coming up next, Micah Halpern discusses Sacha Baron Cohen's new Borat movie and Cohen's criticism of those who engage in anti-Semitism and Holocaust denial. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, December the 2nd, 2020. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy. Stay well.